This is not a Glory Hunter challenge.
What?
Well, it is, kinda. I'm going to start at the top and then end up at the bottom on purpose.
You are made of stupid.
Let me explain. We're going to start at one of the top clubs in Europe, either England, France, Germany, Italy, or Spain. Once we win a league title, then we must drop down the division and win a league title there. This will continue until we've won 5 league titles in 5 different countries at 5 different levels, and we've got 10 seasons to do it in. So you'll notice that the top league in England is not on there. That's because they are the only team in game on the vanilla database that has 5 levels. So we need to finish in England. Any one of these 4 though are fair game. So let's see which league that we will start off in. Once we get there, then we need to decide on the team. And it looks like we are heading to La Liga. Next, we need to decide on a team. Now, we're not going to start unemployed because we need a top team to kick things off. So it's going to be from the top 3, Barca, Atletico, or Real Madrid. And remember, if we don't win it here after 2 seasons, we then need to move to another country. But we've only got 10 seasons to get the 5 league titles at the 5 different levels. So I need to get moving fast. And it's for this reason we go back to the wheel. Those big 3 giant teams are on the wheel: Barca, Real, Atletico. We will start our journey with, well, we've got no excuses. We've got to start off with a bang here. It's Real Madrid. So our journey starts with Real Madrid. This is our top level team, and it really should be our only top level team, right? So there should be really no excuses here. We've got the squad, we've got all the updated players, and Mbappe's there. I mean, I just need to get an attacking tactic and just go for it. So the way I see this first stage is, as long as I get them 4 in the team, the rest of it should take care of itself. So it may end up being a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, but they should just power me to the title, right? So then, our toughest game, unsurprisingly, was probably Barcelona in the first half of the season. We got a bit of luck there, but if you look at the top of the screen there, we had 3 goals disallowed in the first half alone. And then something happened which has never happened to me before. We won every match in the first half of the season. So I knew these boys were good, but I've hardly used them this year because it's too easy, and they've won 16 out of 16. We're actually only a point clear of Barcelona, but we do have 2 games of hand. But look at this goal difference. They have scored 74 goals in 16 matches, and we've only conceded 8.
You are having a laugh.
So tactically, I haven't done anything special. Those 4 are the only ones that start every match, and the keeper. But as you can see, it's a pretty basic looking 4-2-3-1. I'm just letting them boys do their thing. Now, Mbappe has done his thing 28 times actually, and 35 overall. He's still got half a season to blooming go. So it's looking good, this one. We just need to finish this off, and then we can start moving our way down the ranks, and things will get a hell of a lot harder. But first, let's see if we can do the unthinkable and actually win every match this season. Can't happen, can it? After a blistering first half of the season, the second half of the season ended with us winning the Champions League at Wembley against AC Milan. We'd also added the Super Cup and the Super Copa. But after 2 red cards, Barcelona gave us a thumping in the Copa del Rey final. But you can't win them all. Now back to the league. Were we going to go undefeated? Well, yes, until bottom of the table Osasuna beat us. Yeah. And then so did Barcelona at home. We scored 138 goals this season, only conceding 21. But somehow it wasn't enough, as Barcelona beat us to the title with 103 points. Are you having a laugh?
I mean,
we were top for nearly the entire season, and then we blew it. I don't know what to say. I thought this was an absolute banker, and do you know what the hilarious thing is? The board are disappointed with your management of the team. I've just won the blooming Champions League. I've used the season up there, and I really should have got that done, especially after the first half of the season. So I'm going to give myself one more season in charge of Real Madrid to get this blooming first league title done. Going into the new season, Jude Bellingham broke his leg in our UEFA Super Cup win against Manchester United. Great. Season 2 started like Season 1 did, and the highlight's probably this 6-0 win over FC Bayern. Yet again, the league campaign's faultless. There's been a couple of hiccups in the Champions League, but look at some of these results coming in. There's 8 goals, and we've not done it just once. Beat Osasuna there, but we beat Valladolid 8-0 as well. More importantly, we've beat Barcelona 2-0 at the Nou Camp. Currently we're 7 points clear, but we know what happened last time. And a big shout out to Brahim Diaz, who has stepped in for the injured Jude Bellingham and bagged in 17 goals. Bravo, sir. On to the second half of the season. Okay, so first the bad news. Manchester United seem to be our monkey on our back as they knock us out of the Champions League, so we'll lose our trophy. But in better news, in the Copa del Rey final, we got our revenge from last year and beat Barcelona, taking it down. And this time in the league campaign, we did not fall away. We kept up the winning momentum. Look at that. And with 3 games to go, even though Barcelona have got 6 games left, we are already champions. We're on the verge of going invincible, and we've scored even more goals than last season with 3 games to go. We kept the same tactic, only adding run at defence to the team instructions, and that seems to have done the trick. So we're going to play the end of the season out because I want to see how many goals we can score. But then the fun starts. We need to find a job at a lower level than what we've got. Job done as we round out the season undefeated with a whopping 108 points and a goal difference of a plus 120. They're still not happy, and do you know why? Because we haven't spent their money. These people are maniacs.
I tell you, that's just madness.
Anyway, enough of that nonsense. It's time to leave Real Madrid. Not a bad first job, right? So we've got the job centre and we're going to filter this down to just manager jobs, and let's see what's available. We need one at a step below, I think. I'm also going to take Spain out of the equation and England because we're going there last. So it's France, Germany or Italy. That narrows it down quite a lot. Looking at it at the minute, there is a chance to drop way down the leads with Dunkirk in France or Munster in the Bundesliga 2, but the one that's caught my eye is Brescia. And that's because they've got relegated. So can we take a jump to Serie C and click that one off our list? Not surprisingly, Brescia jumped at the chance to have a La Liga and Champions League winning manager and invited him for an interview. As usual, I've pressed the same old responses that we all do. And after a week or so, it was time for our next challenge. Yes, Brescia couldn't believe their luck as they pulled the trigger and we take over in the 3rd tier of Italian football. So initially I was going to jump a league down at a time, but I'm going to play around a bit but make sure I finish in the 5th tier. They had a bit of a miserable time in Serie B, look, relegated in 17th, 5 points adrift. They should be one of the favourites for Serie C though, so I'm hoping for a quick turnaround. So this is Brescia in Serie C now. We've got some good players. Key player Michael Basaggio. He wants to leave because we got relegated, but I'm not having any of that. You're staying, my son. As is Flavio Bianchi, who is valued at 5 million. That at the 3rd tier of football is going to be ridiculous, and he's already had an electric pre-season. Now this bodes well because Serie C is infamously quite tough to get out of. There's a whole rake of playoffs, so we need to finish in that top spot. And season preview has us 3rd favourites. Tactically, I think we'll go for somewhat of a promotion classic and try and go for a 4-2-4, 4-4-2 combination. Something like this should do the trick, and it should get the best out of Bianchi and Basaggio.
Football knowledge.
What wasn't in the script was an early defeat to Vicenza. However, following that, we went on a Real Madrid-esque run and we're absolutely flying. I've got to give a shout out to this match, which ended 6-6. But so far in the league table, we're sitting pretty with 50 points with just that one defeat after 19 matches. The 4-2-4 with a couple of flat central midfielders has proven a good option. So all going really well, backed up by a couple of really sensible signings. Daniel Casaraghi was in Serie B last season, and last season scored 10 times. Now he's been pretty decent from central midfield, alongside Nikola Sekulov from Sampdoria on loan. This is a bit of a cheat because he's far too good for this level and he's bagged 9 times from that right hand side. So at the halfway point of the season, we're in a good position, but we do tend to fall off because the tactic is quite intense. So fingers crossed we can see this through and knock another trophy off the list. Like so often happens after the break, we had a fall off. We lost to Vicenza again and we lost our second match in a row to Clodiense. However, we got it back together and stormed back, only losing one further match, meaning we achieve our goal and win Serie C, tick that one off and tick Italy off as well. But a new rule I've set myself is I can't use the same formation twice, so the Brescia 4-2-4 is going to have to go in the bin as well. So the top level's done, the 3rd tier's done, we've got the 2nd, the 4th and the 5th to go. Following a lovely little spell at Brescia, I wish I could stay, but the time is nigh, it's time to resign once again. But this time the club put up a fight. So we land at the job centre again. It might be a bit trickier to find our preferred job this time though. There's the current manager jobs, but when we filter it down to country yet again, remember this time we can't have Italy, Spain or England, and we might be waiting a while.
What?
Jobs started to roll in like Man City, like Tottenham, but we can't go for those. But in the job centre, some options were starting to pile up, including some intriguing ones. In Ligue 1, Brest had shockingly finished bottom and got relegated with only 20 points. I turned down interviews at several clubs from the English leagues. In fact, I was a wanted man. But another intriguing offer came in at the last minute from Saint Etienne. They agreed to my suggestion to delay, as I was waiting for Brest to come in with an offer.
You son of a bitch.
I know I'm a bad man, but I had to do what's right for me. Right, we've landed at Brest. Don't be childish. And this should be pretty straightforward. So they've got relegated from Ligue 1, where they were previously doing pretty well, and they're in Ligue 2. Now this is one of the leagues we need to tick off, and interestingly, if we go to season preview, we are odds-on favourite, despite losing quite a few players in the transfer window. We've bought some in, just some strikers from here and there, just to try to back up the team, because the tactic we're using this season is a version of the free up that I used when I used Brest way back, probably at the start of this cycle, to be honest. All I've done is I'm using that formation, but because Casimir here is such a good winger, he's not going to be a striker, he's going to be a winger. But look at him, he's definitely decent and wants to leave the club because he thinks he's too good for us. Not the normal tactic you'll see, 2 inverted wing backs, which is quite surprising considering we've got nobody down there, but I'm hoping the Mazzala and the deep line forward can pick up the workload down that flank. I'm pretty optimistic we'll get this one done in a season, but I have said that before, Real Madrid. So the team that I spurned to join Brest gave us an early season defeat. Yeah, that's annoying. But as the team got used to the tactic, we've started to look pretty good despite losing our last match. At the halfway point of the season, we are top of the table, but it's dead close. We did make a late signing in the transfer window of Alejo Belize, the Tottenham wonder kid, and as he starts to settle, he scored some good goals, and things for the season are looking pretty good, especially with performances like that. Right, crew, the good news is that Brest continue to be massive.
Viewers, apologize, I'm continue.
As we've stormed it. So second half of the season, we had our usual defeats. We've really got to look at that. Why do we keep losing our first games after the winter break? But after that, we're flying. And this victory has just meant 3rd trophy in the bag. So that's top division done, 2nd division done, 3rd division done, 2 to go, loads of seasons left. Tell you what, this is starting to look impressive. This is the way to do it from now on. Start your game with a really big team, work your way down, and your trophies just stack up. Look at that. So another tactical shape that seems to have worked. We've made some tweaks there, so I will save that and stick it in Patreon. So that's free for free. We're doing well now. I think it might get trickier, you know, weirdly, the lower down we go. So it's time to resign from Brest, even though I said I was going to stay here for ages. And we're back at the job centre, and this is where it's getting pretty tough because we've only got one option. And this was the horrible moment that I'd realised I'd completely messed up.
What?
By taking the Brest job and going in Ligue 2, it meant that the only other country with 4 divisions was out the equation. So if you do come to do this, Germany should have gone ahead of France, and France should have been the 4th division, with England being the 5th division. Now I've got a decision to make. Do I complete all divisions, or do I complete all countries? If it's all countries, we could jet off to Germany and do the free Ligue. If it's all divisions, I need to go to England to do Ligue 2 and then England again for the National League. See, if I was doing this live, I could ask you a lot live, but luckily we have the wheel to help us decide, so whatever this lands on, we'll do it. If it's England, we'll go Ligue 2 and the National League. If it's Germany, which it is, we're going to Ligue 3. And that might be easier said than done, because at the minute, the only jobs are in England. So with 6 seasons to go and 2 league titles to gain, we had some options. Hansa Rostock or Braunschweig. Both teams have just been relegated from the 2nd division in Germany, so they're going to be going into the free Ligue. I did get offered an interview in France and ironically of Union Berlin, but they're just too high up. Thankfully, Hansa Rostock came up trumps and we have got our next job. This looks like the best decision possible because if I look at the season preview, again we're favourites to go back up. So tactic wise for this team, all signs were pointing to a more direct game. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so Hoofball makes its way to Germany, and there's a couple of reasons for this. The recommendation was to play more direct, and also Nadiri, who's only on loan. He's not the greatest player, but I just think 6'4" at this level could cause havoc. Put him up front with Ibaima here, who I've used in the past at 18-16 Munchen. We're in a bit of regen zone as well, so we've got Barma, who's only 18, wanted by a host of clubs. Check it out. Big offers coming in, but I need to keep hold of him. And for this level, we've actually got a bit of money, 2 million. So we might start getting a bit frisky in here. And the players I did sign were from top division clubs been released. Jonathan Aspiensen, released by Bayern München, and Lucas Lau, released by Mainz. But less cool was wonderkid Yannick Baum, who did leave the club for 4 million. But after a promising hoofball pre-season, I'm hopeful for the season as we get going.
Hey yo!
First half of the season, pretty faultless, only a couple of defeats. Despite that though, we aren't top of the league. Top of the league is 18-16 München. We've got a cracking defensive record, we just need to close that gap. And after some departures, I am operating on a really small squad. Damaging 3-0 defeat to München meant with 7 games to go, we've got 5 points to catch them up. So at one stage we were flying, win after win, and we caught them. But this right here was a hammer blow as we lose 3-2, and with just 2 games to go, we're still 2 points behind. We win our last 2 matches 5-2 and 6-1, and in 1860's last match, 2 penalties from Kovacic. When they lose 3-1, which propels us to champions, meaning we clock Germany off our list.
Heritage.
I mean, I'm not even ashamed. Look at the state of that. So we started off being the best team, and we dropped down, and we were second from game week 12 all the way through to 37. Oh, 1860. Hoofball does its business yet again, and then in the league, 105 goals it scored, so they were the best team in the league, remember, but that's still pretty impressive. So this is our trophy haul as well. As you see, we've done most of the hard work now. We've got 1 to go, and it's over to England and the National League, the 5th tier in England. So job centre wise, what we're looking for now is we're going to filter this down. It's literally just going to be England, and it's just going to be the National League. It's a waiting game again. Getting into pre-season now, and although there is English jobs coming up, there's none at the level I need. In fact, as the season got started, there was no jobs for us. This is going to eat into my seasons. This is not ideal. I waited until second season in November, and shockingly, Torquay and Braintree both bombed me off. Finally, in January, we got a chance at South Shields. I mean, look at my past record. We lifted the Champions League, but nobody would give us a chance. Ridiculous. So this season's going to be a write-off, look, because we're down in 21st, so there's no way we can get promoted, so we need to plan for next season. Looks like a basic formation will be the way to go, but I'm going to slot in a blast from the past. This is the Factory, which is a proven lower league promoter. After a really bright start where we won 4 or 5 out of our first few matches, it went massively off the rails. We got relegated. Stingazola was sacked by South Shields. Has there been a bigger fall from grace than that? A new season, and yet again I'm stuck in the job centre. Last season's done a bit of damage to my reputation, I think. By December there was no change. The National League chairman are the most loyal in the world. So this is the tale of the tape. It's the 9th of February 2030. I'm just going to write this season off. I can't get a job, so I'm going to holiday through to the end of the season and hope that one comes up. Because after that, I think we've only got 2 or 3 seasons left to achieve this goal, so I need a blooming job. Finally, success! And it's Barrow, which isn't far from my actual house. And this may work out for the best, because they've just been relegated from League 2, so they should have a really decent squad for this level. One thing's for sure, it's massive, and with the sheer amount of centre-backs we've got at the club, I'm thinking we go 3 at the back for the new season. Now, somewhat worryingly, the pre-season odds have not put me where I thought it was going to be. 17th we are, so that's way down from where we need to be. And the squad's thinned out a lot. I think a lot of players have left on contracts, and there's even more out, so I need to get a bit busy here. So the idea was to go in with that, 3 centre-backs, but we might not have enough anymore, so I've got a backup lined up just in case, but let's see if we can finally do this. You could say I went hard on transfers. I brought in basically a whole new team, and it's had the desired effect as we've stormed this league with only a couple of defeats. 6 points clear, 20 or so matches to go. Can we finally get this task completed? Having the backup formation, which was a 4-3-3, has helped massively as we sit top of the table by 4 clear points with 4 games left. We even took the lead at the Tottenham Stadium in the FA Cup, but they've eventually beat us 4-1. This tactic of signing players that have been released by Premier League teams and Championship teams was definitely the way to go. It was time for a decider. If we beat Gillingham at home, we would have done it. We went behind early, but we took our time and the boys started to dominate. And that sealed the title. So after one hell of a journey, we've done it. We've amassed 102 points now. The change to this definitely did the trick. I'm going to play the last 2 games out because I'm dead curious if we can get even more points. But as we look at our journey through the leagues and countries, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, and now England, the reverse glory hunter kinda is complete.